Welcome to this explainer. You know, if you own any prickly houseplants, you are probably all too familiar with that sudden, sharp shock of getting just a little too close to them. Today, we're looking into a question that honestly haunts almost every plant parent out there. What exactly happens when a cactus spine enters your body? We're going to take a fascinating microscopic journey into the anatomy of these needles, look at how our own human immune system fights them off, and of course, break down the absolute safest removal methods based entirely on the science.
Okay, let's dive into this with a highly relatable story from plant expert Anastasia Remislo that perfectly captures this whole anxiety. She noted, "It happened to me a few years back while repotting a feisty opuntia, and I ended up with a handful of tiny invisible Glochids." I mean, if you do your own routine plant care, you're definitely nodding along right now. It's an absolute heart-stopping moment when you realize you've been spiked, especially by those tiny invisible little barbs that you can feel with every movement but can barely even see. That singular, super frustrating experience is exactly what sent Anastasia on a deep dive to figure out the interaction between a cactus spine and human skin, and honestly, it's the foundation of everything we're uncovering today.
Which brings us right to the central mystery of this explainer, the big myth we need to bust right here, right now. Do cactus needles actually dissolve in your skin? It's a really comforting thought, isn't it? The idea that if you just, leave that tiny, annoying prickle alone, your body's internal chemistry will just sort of melt it away over time, kind of like a modern surgical stitch. But to find out if there's any truth to that whatsoever, we have to look incredibly closely at what a cactus needle actually is.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the sheer engineering of these plants. Botanically speaking, these needles are actually modified leaves. And if you look at their microscopic makeup, they are primarily composed of cellulose and lignin. If those words sound vaguely familiar from high school biology, it's because they're the exact same tough, fibrous materials that give wood its structural integrity. The cellulose fibers in a cactus spine are highly crystalline and just perfectly aligned. Uncovering this structure was a bit of a light bulb moment for me, honestly. It's what gives the spine incredible stiffness and piercing strength while keeping it super lightweight. It is quite literally the ultimate botanical armor. And because of this incredibly robust, woody composition, these spines are completely 100% water-insoluble.
So the crucial point is nope, they do not dissolve. Unlike a surgical stitch that's chemically designed to be broken down by your body's enzymes, your biology simply cannot break down these highly crystalline, insoluble plant fibers. So instead of just melting away peacefully, a biological battle essentially kicks off inside your skin.
It turns out, your body fights this undissolvable invader in 3 very distinct stages. The literal second that lignin and cellulose breach your skin barrier, your immune system sounds the alarm. It immediately flags the spine as a foreign invader. Step 2 is the inflammatory response. Your body rushes blood and immune cells to the site, blowing up the area to try and isolate the dangerous object. And then, step 3. Well, this can span weeks or even months. Because your internal chemistry can't dissolve the spine, your body tries a slow mechanical eviction. It relies on the completely natural process of wound healing and skin cell turnover to physically push that splinter up and out.
But here's where the clinical stakes get a bit higher. You see that weeks-long eviction process we just talked about? It isn't always successful. Sometimes a spine is embedded just way too deeply, or the fragment is simply too stubborn to be pushed out. When your body finally realizes it cannot naturally eliminate the invader, it switches tactics. It goes from eviction to a containment strategy. It forms what dermatologists call a foreign body granuloma. This is basically a persistent, inflamed, small lump made entirely of your own clustered immune cells, and it physically walls off the cactus fragment to protect the rest of your body. And this can pop up days or even weeks after the initial poke, leaving you with a permanent, pretty painful little nodule.
And unfortunately, granulomas aren't the only complication. Ignoring a poke actually carries real medical risks. Now, the danger isn't venom. Cacti aren't venomous. It comes entirely from the act of breaking your skin barrier. That spine acts almost like a dirty needle, dragging whatever is on the outside directly into your tissue. This can introduce microbes from the plant surface itself, or even push common skin bacteria like Staphylococcus aureus deep into the wound, leading to some incredibly nasty puncture wound infections. Beyond infection, the sheer physical irritation can trigger contact dermatitis, basically a really itchy red allergic rash. And while it is rare, any deep puncture wound carries a risk of tetanus. So yeah, leaving a spine in your skin just to see what happens? Definitely not worth the gamble.
So knowing our bodies absolutely cannot dissolve them, prompt removal is our only real option. But the trick here is that the method you use depends entirely on the enemy you're facing. you're usually dealing with one of two things: large, visible, traditional cactus spines, or those tiny, hair-like, heavily barbed nightmares known as glochids.
Let's start with the big ones. For large, visible spines, precision is everything. First things first, always, and I mean always, clean the area with soap and water to immediately lower that infection risk we just uncovered. Second, grab some sterilized tweezers and grip the absolute base of the spine as firmly as you can. Finally, pull straight out in the exact direction the spine entered your skin. I cannot stress this enough, and the sources emphasize it over and over. Whatever you do not wiggle it. Actually, scratch that. Pulling at an angle is just as bad. Any sideways pressure on those rigid cellulose fibers will cause them to just snap right off below the surface of your skin, practically guaranteeing an infection or one of those pesky granulomas. Just pull straight and pull firmly.
And this brilliantly illustrates exactly why we have to change tactics for those invisible hair-like glochids, like the ones Anastasia encountered on her prickly pear. Tweezers are essentially useless against them. You'll just end up crushing them. This is where an incredibly effective household hack comes in. Because glochids are so microscopic and barbed, you have to trap them. Step 1. Apply a really thick layer of liquid white school glue, or tightly press a piece of strong duct tape over the affected area. Step 2. If you're using glue, you absolutely must let it dry completely until it forms a solid, tacky film. Step 3. Peel the adhesive off. The glue or tape firmly grips all those microscopic barbs, and as you peel it away, the tiny spines are yanked out with it. You might have to repeat the process a couple of times to get every last one, but it is a surprisingly brilliant way to clear an entire patch of glochids at once.
Now, all these home remedies work wonders for your average run-of-the-mill pokes. We do need to draw a clear line on when to seek professional help. Listen, do not try to play surgeon and dig out a needle that has broken off deep under the skin. You definitely need to seek medical attention if the puncture is anywhere near a highly sensitive area, like your eye, or if it has penetrated deeply into a joint. Furthermore, if you've already removed a spine but the area starts showing signs of infection, and by that I mean increasing redness, sudden swelling, warmth radiating from the site, or any sort of pus, please consult a healthcare professional immediately to get it safely treated. Don't mess around with infections.
Let's move to and see how this builds into something even more important: prevention. Prevention is always better than extraction. If you're following a complete care and growth guide for your collection, safe handling has to be part of your routine. Standard cloth gardening gloves? Yeah, those won't cut it. The needles will pierce right through. You need thick leather or specialized cactus handling gloves. Better yet, just take your hands out of the equation entirely. Handle your prickly plants using kitchen tongs, silicone tip tools, or even a thick strap of folded newspaper wrapped gently around the base. And honestly, just keeping a dedicated cactus first aid kit right next to your watering can, complete with sterilized tweezers, some duct tape, and antiseptic wipes, will make your regular plant maintenance vastly less stressful.
Well, we've journeyed from the incredible water-insoluble woody structure of a cactus spine right down to the microscopic battles our immune system fights trying to expel them. It really puts the whole term houseplant into perspective, doesn't it? These aren't just passive decorations sitting on a windowsill. They are ancient, highly evolved survivors, completely wrapped in a protective armor of cellulose and lignin that our human bodies literally cannot dissolve. So knowing exactly how perfectly engineered these botanical defenses are, how will you respect your prickly green friends differently the next time you water or repot them? Keep those tweezers sterilized, grab that duct tape, and above all, stay curious.